Have you ever opened a spreadsheet and just felt completely overwhelmed by a wall of data? Well, if you have, this one's for you. Today, we are going to pull back the curtain on one of Excel's most powerful tools, the pivot table. And trust me, by the end of this, you won't just get it. You'll be ready to build one yourself. I mean, just think about that for a second. Turning a massive 5,000-row spreadsheet into a simple 5-row summary in about 10 seconds. That's not some kind of magic trick. That is exactly what a pivot table does. It's designed to cut through all that noise and give you clear, actionable answers. So let's get into it. You know the feeling, right? We've all been there, staring at this endless grid of numbers. Thousands of rows of sales data, inventory, you name it. It feels totally impossible to spot a trend or find any real meaning in it. It's just a data overload, a real spreadsheet nightmare. But what if there was a tool built specifically to fix this exact problem? Something that could instantly organize, summarize, and make sense of all that data for you? Well, you're in luck. Let's meet the pivot table, your new best friend for tackling spreadsheet chaos. So, what is this thing really? The easiest way to think about it is like a powerful data processor that lives right inside Excel. It lets you create these amazing summaries of your data on the fly. And here's the best part. It does all of this without ever touching or changing your original data. It's a totally safe and incredibly powerful way to explore your numbers. Let's just quickly run through the main perks here. First, it's non-destructive. That means you can click, drag, and experiment all you want without any fear of messing up your raw data. Second, you get instant math. You can switch from seeing a sum to an average to a count with literally one click. And third, it's dynamic. You can actually pivot your report to look at the data from completely different angles. It's awesome. Okay, so to actually build a pivot table, you just need to understand its basic blueprint. And that blueprint is made up of 4 simple logical areas. I like to call them the 4 magic zones. This is really the heart of how it all works. And this is it. This is the whole blueprint. Seriously, building a pivot table is all about dragging your data fields into these 4 zones. You've got rows and columns, which create the structure. You've got values, which does all the calculations. And you've got filters, which let you zoom in on just what you want to see. Let's take a quick look at each one. So let's start with rows. It's simple. When you drag a field, let's say salespeople, into the rows box, the pivot table instantly scans that entire column in your data. And what you get is a perfect, clean, alphabetized list of every unique salesperson. No duplicates, just a simple summary list going down the side. The columns zone? Well, it works the exact same way as rows, just horizontally. So if you drag your region field here, it creates a separate column for each unique region, spreading them all out across the top of your table. This is perfect for when you want to compare things side by side. Now, the value zone. This is the engine room. This is where all the math happens. You drop your numbers in here. So you drag your sales column into this box, and Excel will automatically do the calculations. Usually it defaults to summing everything up. This is where your raw data finally turns into real information. And last but not least, you've got the filters zone. Think of this like a big filter that sits on top of your whole report. You could drop year in here, for example, and then with one click, you can choose to see the data for just 2025 or just 2024, and the whole report updates instantly. All right, that's enough theory. Let's actually put this into practice and build our very first pivot table together. It's a super simple 4-step process that honestly takes less than a minute. The process itself is incredibly straightforward. First, just click anywhere inside your data range. Second, you go up to the Insert tab and click Pivot Table. Third, it's going to ask where to put it. Always choose New Worksheet. It just keeps things clean. And that's it. Now you have a blank canvas, and the real fun begins, dragging and dropping your fields into those 4 zones. Okay, so you've got your blank pivot table staring back at you. On the right, you see a list of all your column headers. Let's start building. What do you think happens when you grab that salespeople header and just drag it right into the rows box? Exactly. Bam! Your table instantly populates with a vertical list of every single salesperson from your data. The pivot table just scanned thousands of rows and gave you a perfect deduplicated list. See? Step 1, done. Okay, the structure is already taking shape. We've got our salespeople listed down the side. Now, what do you think is going to happen when we take that region field and drop it into the column zone? You got it. The table immediately expands sideways. Now you've got a column for the East region, the West, and so on. We've just built the entire framework, a grid showing all our salespeople against all the regions. But it's empty.
This is it, the final crucial step that brings it all to life. We've got our rows, we've got our columns. So what happens when we take our number field, sales, and drop it right into that values box?
And there it is. The table just fills with numbers. Excel automatically calculates the total sales for each salesperson in each region and puts it in the right spot. In just 3 little drag and drop moves, you've turned that nightmare spreadsheet into a powerful, easy-to-read summary. This is how you find answers in your data.
Now, before you race off to build your own masterpiece, there are a few simple rules you have to follow. Because the magic of a pivot table, it all depends on having clean, well-structured data to begin with.
So just remember these golden rules. First, every single column absolutely needs a header, no exceptions. Second, your data can't have any blank rows or subtotals mixed into it. Third, be consistent. NY and New York will look like 2 different places to a pivot table. And finally, and this is a huge pro tip, pivot tables don't update on their own. If you change your original data, you have to right-click your table and hit refresh. That one is critical to remember.
And that's really all there is to it. You now have the complete blueprint to create your own powerful summaries from pretty much any dataset. You get the zones, you know the steps, you know the rules for success. So the only real question left is what hidden stories, what trends, and what insights are just sitting there waiting for you to uncover in your own data?